Yeah. Listen, we're gonna jump right into it, Miss Handy. What is the idea behind She's Got Purpose?
Whew. So She's Got Purpose is a movement. It's a movement of women that inspire one another to imagine, see, and believe in our unlimited possibilities just by the frequency of our own journeys and our
Mhm.
journey to wellness. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Speaking of wellness, and I'm gonna hop right into this because I follow your stuff, right? You know that. So I saw you use a quote, big wins, small steps. And that was that, I mean, it was sometimes you see the most simplistic quotes, right? And you pay
Yeah.
them attention or you may not, but this one was so simple yet powerful. Can you explain this quote?
Yes. Okay. So you're right about simplicity at its best because I believe that everything that we do in life is broken down into smaller, more manageable pieces, right? And
Mhm.
so when you're pursuing big goals, you have to take one small step in order for that to happen. And it kind of really happened for me that way throughout my life. So, where you're thinking, Oprah Winfrey said that Maya Angelou told her, you have no idea what your legacy will be because you're
Right.
doing these things every step you take, every commitment that you make, every community event that you have builds your brand. And I'm talking
Right.
about specifically to me. And so everything that I have done has been small steps to this big win. I realized that people thought that I was bigger than what I knew that I was when somebody said, I Googled you. And I'm
Wow.
like, oh, okay. And so it's like, well, what would they find? But the funny thing about that is that it was every little small step that I had done.
Right.
My community service, me being in college and being in the Human Services Club and being a part of the Natasha House, being a volunteer coordinator, speaking at different events, being featured in magazines and on ICMA. And so those were very small steps and moments in time, but they added up to a big image and reputation I have of being a community servant.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. And being a community servant and running your own business at the same time. I don't think people really get that it's truly a headache, right? Like it's truly a headache. Like it's a headache for the normal person, right? But to be a black woman in this world, not
Mm.
just an owner, an entrepreneur, a servant in the community, a fighter. What is it like to be to walk into entrepreneurship as a black woman in this country?
I like that you said walk into entrepreneurship because this is my year to really expand the brand and turn that passion into profit. Before, it was just something that I did out of the nature of my heart, that I wanted to
Mhm.
encourage women from a place that I remember being when I was the girl who cut loins at Smithfield
Right.
Packing and took calls at Sprint Nextel and waited tables at Ruby Tuesdays. I wanted to be the girl to show anybody that's in whatever situation that there is greater. And so before She's Got Purpose was just ultimately about me inspiring people, but turning your passion into profit leads you into, for me, an unfamiliar territory. And so when you talk
Right.
about what is entrepreneurship like for a black woman, I am doing it scared, because
Right.
the
Yeah.
reality is that there are some key components of business that even as a minority that we didn't have, off top. It wasn't something that was furnished and conditioned into our makeup. And so for me it's scary. It's developmental. It's challenging
Right.
me, and I feel as if not knowing everything that I could have known by starting off is putting me at an advantage. There's a balance in
Right.
everything, so there's a balance. And for me, it's scary. So what is entrepreneurship like for a black woman? It's scary because I am definitely entering into some unknown territories, but God is faithful because
Yeah.
he says that, he will add all things to you for
Yes.
your gift. Your gift makes room for you, and he will give it to you according to your will, according to his will and his purpose for your life. So though I am scared, I am faithful, and I have
Yeah.
faith that God will see me through and provide every resource and support I need to see this dream
Come
happen.
on now. Come on, preach to us, minister to us now. I appreciate it. Look, Dr. Jones said, it's hard work being a community servant. He said that he wishes you the best, by the way. He wanted me to relay that to you. And that's amazing because there's something about our faith that speaks more than our fear. Right. Even though we feel that fear, we also know what he's done before and we can see what he's working on. So I definitely
Yeah.
get it. Let's talk about, let's stay on this topic of being that black woman, right? Because we hear so many times. Because when I look at your page, the first thing that comes to mind is she's a strong, faithful black woman. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, right? So when I've watched your, I've seen your weight loss journey. I see you share your thoughts about faith. I see you, you're just out and about trying to make the right decisions for yourself, not just for the present, but for the future, right? But
Right.
what is the other side of this that we don't see? That side of the things that when the camera shuts off and the social media apps close and the blinds close at night and you clock out of work for the day, what is the other side of a strong black woman that the world doesn't see?
Um, the other side is tired. The other side can look sometimes as doubtful because we all deal with different insecurities and in different places. And for as much as people think, oh, I'm a powerhouse, Letitia's a powerhouse, she's just rocking and rolling, and she is the 100% motivator of everyone. And sometimes because I pour out so much, the time that it takes to rejuvenate, I
Right.
have lost sight of. And so that's why we are going through a weight loss journey. We are going
Yeah.
through a journey to wellness that I'm focusing more on my self care because I can't pour from an empty vessel. And
Right.
so
Come on.
when you are giving of your time, talents, and energy to the community to embetter them, it comes at a cost
It does.
because the world presents to you both blessings and curses, and that is the polarity of life. That from what extreme you create great things, there's
Right.
always a challenge to follow.
Right.
And with those challenges, God gives those races to the swift. Though they say
Yes.
they don't give it to the swift or the strong, but to me, I feel as if he did give it to the strong because I have bared burdens on my back that the people that are served will never know, you know?
Wow.
And so when I come home, and I'm able to relax and just turn off, sometimes it is very overwhelming. It's
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, you just fed 5,000, or you
Right.
just set up another community wide drive, and people are worrying about me out here. And they're like, oh, she's out there in the community and she might get
Right.
COVID. But when you realize that you're doing things for Christ,
Yes.
for Jesus,
Yes.
for the beliefs that I have. And that may not be everyone's fundamental principles, but it's the driving force behind me. And so I lack nothing. That
Right.
even when I am at my worst, when I come home behind that strong black moment, when I
Yes.
become vulnerable and I tell
Yes.
somebody else that I need help, he still provides then.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
Constantly providing, even when we don't see it. Constantly providing.
Yes.
Always the things that we need, right? It's
Yeah.
always there. We never lack. Speaking of providing, and going into what's next, what does 2021 hold for She's Got Purpose?
2021 is already here and we are
Yes.
already making it. And so I believe that prior planning prevents from poor performance. So I never walk into a year blind. That means that I constantly concentrate on my intentional movements. And so we've already casted the vision and we're making it plain so that those
Right.
who read it can run with it. So we already see that what's to come is that we're going to expand. We're going to expand our reach through podcasts. We're going to expand our reach through YouTube. We're going to expand our reach through products and services that really help people. We're going to have remarkable items that uplift and inspire people in their brokenness because we're
Right.
all broken, and the reality is that when we become authentic and organically us,
Yes.
then we can be able to help somebody else by speaking to our own brokenness. Like, you
Yes.
better get you right first. So
Right.
what's to come for 2021 for She's Got Purpose is Latiesha being more authentic and transparent about her process so that I can help other women come to that
Right.
realization too.
And that's exactly what I feel the world needs. We need the authenticity, but we also need the transparency as well. Because in order to uplift everybody or someone, right, they have to see something in you that they recognize, right? Something that attracts them to you, whether it may be your brokenness, whether it's your honesty, whether it's your transparency, whatever it is. That's how we reach people, by being exactly who he made us to be.
That's right.
Latiesha, I can't thank you enough for being here with us tonight. Thank you for adjusting your schedule to join us
Oh,
tonight. I greatly appreciate it. Where can the people find you?
you can find me right now. I am actively sharing my journey on IG at She's Got Purpose. Please, please, please go and follow me. I would like to be inspired by you. Some days I don't feel like taking this wellness journey, and your encouragement, likes, shares, and comments
Yeah.
motivate me to keep pushing. The social media is my accountability partner right now. You can also find me shortly. We will be launching a podcast on Anchor
Wow.
Podcast starting February 7th. This is the first time I'm mentioning it. So you're hearing it first, right?
Oh, we got the exclusive, y'all.
Yeah. So when it
Yeah,
goes viral, you'll know it first
there
popped
we
off
go.
here. I said it first here. And we
Yeah,
have a web page coming, she'sgotpurpose.com, but that will be late in February too. So we'll have some launch information. I'm hoping to connect to some wonderful women to help me grow as we grow together.
absolutely. And I truly believe you will. There's no doubt about it. Thank you again for joining us. And everybody go follow She's Got Purpose on Instagram. Trust me, she's going to bless you as well as motivation is concerned. And y'all please bless her back with the motivation, because that's how this works. We can't keep putting out and not getting it back. I had a pastor tell me a couple of weeks ago. He told me, he said, you're going to need somebody to pour into you because you're
Mm.
pouring out so much. And those are accurate words. So y'all please go accept her pouring and pour back into her. Thank you again for being here, Miss Handie. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you again.
Thank you. I
All
appreciate it.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. So before we finish up tonight, I want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to Elder Donna Lassiter. All right, for Preacher's Thoughts, a 30-day devotional. Please understand when I tell you that this book right here, I already had a devotional before I got this. Okay, and the devotional that I had was already amazing. But since I've gotten this 30-day devotional, I have not picked up my other devotional other than to move it on the other side of the sofa. This Preacher's Thoughts from Elder Donna Lassiter is absolutely amazing. I want to show you both sides of the book. The book is only $10, y'all. Is only $10 for something that can change your life for 30 days. After 30 days, it does not mean that you get rid of this book, right? After 30 days, you can literally restart this book and pick it up from the first day. And I always tell you all, Brian McKnight's song, Back at One. If ever you believe your work is done, then you start back at one. Start back at day one of this book. This book is currently changing how I view life, changing how I enter into this walk with God and continue this walk with God. Trust me when I tell you, this is not a cheap plug. This is an honest truth. This book is changing my life. 30-day devotional by Elder Donna Lassiter. Please pick that up. If you need to find out how to get it, you can message me and I'll direct you to her to make sure you get your copy. But before we finish up, we all know that no open convo can complete at all without us having a discussion about those who may need to give their lives over to Christ. I know today was a different open convo. Normally we're speaking about the word of God, but today we wanted to highlight and spotlight influential businesses that are right here in the 757 that are changing lives on a daily basis. And as a matter of fact, once a month, we will do a business spotlight with two people who will join us and speak about the influential businesses. And one of the things that I want to do now is bring up on the screen what we always talk about, and that is Romans 10:9-10. If you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is by believing in your heart that you are made right with God, and it is by openly declaring your faith that you are saved.